Good morning students. Today in this video we will talk about new reproductive technologies which are also known as artificial technologies. Now this is very interesting to note that reproduction, which is considered as a natural phenomena, reproduction which is treated as a part and parcel of life, reproduction which is traditionally considered as a God gifted creations, and because of this human survival is there, human existence is there, and life goes on. Now interesting point is the role or the intervention of technology in this periphery. Technology which is earlier considered only which deals with machines, instruments, and now it is related to that part which is associated to the life, which is associated to that birth which was earlier only in the womb of a mother or a lady. Therefore, this era, and specifically if we talk about after 1980s, this is very point of discussion, important point of discussion, that how reproduction is related to this process of technology. And in this video we will discuss about new reproductive technologies which are very commonly seen in the social scenario. Many centers are there which are working in this direction, and popularly they are known as the IVF centers. We will discuss in this video that what are these processes, why are these required, and how they are affecting the process of kinship, because again as reproduction is that process which is associated to the life, kinship was also treated as a gifted, as associated by birth, is a natural. Now then kinship also get affected because of this introduction of new reproductive technologies is a part of discussion in this video. So now let us start what actually the term NRT, that is new reproductive technology, means. With the continuous development of biological sciences and technology, the understanding of parenthood is redefined. Inability to have a child is becoming a social issue in all the societies in the world, and it impacts the life of a couple like social stigma, personal relation issues, problems for women in family can easily be seen. Therefore, NRT are high in demand, that is new reproductive technologies, because parenthood was having very biological connection, and that parenthood is having specific role of a father and a mother, and mother is definitely related to great association in the social process with this motherhood tendency, and this motherhood get social significance when that couple have a child. And in that cases where this is not present, then question raises, a lot of stigmas are there in the society. In addition to this, we have already discussed in one of our video when we talked about reimagining families, that the concept of family is now changed. Earlier mating relationships or a family based on marriage was given very due importance, but nowadays we have seen enormous changes in the family scenario also. Family by choice is there, family of same sex is there, and when such changes are there in the family, then definitely the changes in the reproduction system can also be seen, and this is possible only because of the introduction of these reproductive technologies. Therefore, NRT is gaining importance day by day. NRT is led to denaturalization of reproduction, implying that birthing is no longer only a biological process, but something that we constructed in medical laboratories. Family no longer remains only biological, but rather is also defined by genetics and technology, and marriage is now an option rather than a compulsion in order to experience becoming a parent. Therefore, we can see many film stars also who are having children on the basis of the use of these technologies. Like if we talk about enormous stars are there who have accepted this parenthood on the basis of this NRT techniques. In traditional theories, motherhood was the outcome of union between a man and a woman for a purpose of procreation and formation of a biological family. Traditional definition of family is like this only. When we talk about the union of a male and female by the process of marriage, and they create their family, and this is the family of procreation. The creation of children through laboratories has led to rethink of the biological mode of understanding motherhood and maternity. A lot of things are associated in the social scenario. We can commonly see that as a lady gets pregnant, a number of instructions are given in a traditional societies to a woman to eat this, to talk like this, to behave like this, to think like this, to eat like this. Now, those concepts which were traditionally present in the society for a pregnant woman to give birth to a child in order to have that child which is having enormous good qualities inbuilt. Therefore, certain instructions were given and women are instructed to follow them. But when we talk about these new reproduction technologies, then these do's and don'ts in the traditional society are losing their impacts, because now the things are taking place in the laboratories. Today, reproductive technologies have allowed for a new legitimation of motherhood and thereby widening the scope of motherhood to include a wide range of possibilities that no longer rest on simple biological claims and traditional nuclear family model. And this is the reason that the working woman who earlier was treated as it's quite difficult to give birth, to take rest, now taking advantage of these techniques, they are having their own views to move out and have their families on their own conditions. The definition of motherhood and maternity has shifted away from simple genetic ties to more varied and complex nature. The scope of motherhood has widened to include infertile women, women beyond childbearing age, same-sex couples and single mothers, means those ladies which are unmarried and they are having their children. These are the certain new reimagining of families, and this is the reason that the kinship also get restructured, because when we are having different couples in the society where traditional concept of family has changed, now we are having same sex couples, we are having family by choice, now marriage is no longer a compulsion, there is single parenthood. So, having these dimensions in the society, the existence of NRT is gaining momentum in the present time. In addition to this, infertility, which is that biological phenomena because of primary or the secondary reason, couples are not able to procreate. Taking advantage of these technologies, they create their own families, but still it raises questions on certain things. In addition to this, those couples who get married at a later stage of their life, where the age of having a child is crossed, but because of the use of these technologies, they are able to get their child. Therefore, NRT refers to technologies that intervene in the biological act of procreation. As I started my video with this line only, that procreation or reproduction is a natural process. It's a biological act where there is a unison of a male and female. But because of NRT, this is the intervention in this biological act of procreation. It can facilitate, prevent or intervene in the process of reproduction, including birthing, contraception, abortion and antenatal testing. The use of technology for reproduction has challenged the traditional understanding of motherhood and maternity. As per WHO, the rate of infertility is increasing because of primary or secondary infertility is there, and because of innumerable reasons. The ratio of such couples who are infertile or have this primary or secondary sort of infertility in their married life, they face a lot of stigmas in the society, varies from one country to another, especially in the developing countries. And maybe due to these reasons, the demand for assisted reproductive technologies like artificial insemination, in vitro fertilization, embryo freezing, donation, surrogacy, etc. are increasing, and these are the new terms which are gaining space in the social scenario. Earlier, to think about a surrogate, to think about IVF was a very difficult job to take for, to move ahead, to understand and to accept. But nowadays, in the changing scenarios, because of innumerable reasons, because of the causes, because of the understanding, because of awareness, these things are also getting their place systematically in the society, and the generation is going to accept these things with the passage of time. NRT has been classified in three main categories. First is managerial technologies, second is contraceptive technologies, third is conceptive technologies. Now, I would like to give a brief detail about them, that managerial technologies include the management of pre-pregnancy, pregnancy and birth. Means NRT, which I have talked in my last slide about the various artificial ways are there. I have talked about artificial insemination, surrogacy, egg donation, IVF, IUI. All these technologies have their specific process to move on, and they are having specific levels, specific categories where they work. If we talk about the managerial technologies, this technology deal with the pre-pregnancy, pregnancy and birth and management of that how actually the things takes place. What are the do's and don'ts which a couple should keep in mind while going through these processes. Second is contraceptive technologies, which can be non-interventionist, which involves the use of hormone suppressants and IUI devices and sterilization. And last is the conceptive technologies like artificial insemination, surrogacy, fertility drugs, embryo donation and IVF. Means at every stage there are certain processes which are specifically followed by those people who undergo these processes, and these processes which were earlier a part of a natural phenomena, now it is a part of a technology. Now that was which the things takes place in the laboratory, the process takes place in the laboratory, and that get inserted in the womb of a mother, whether the mother is real, who is having her own eggs, or eggs are inseminated in the womb of any other lady. That is the process of surrogacy, which we will talk in the later on. So this is the way that every stage three categories of NRT is available. Reproductive technologies actually are not a new phenomena. In the world, the first test tube baby, that was Louisa Brown, was born in US in 1978. But the development of these procedures, such as a specialized branch within biogenetics to correct or circumvent infertility in recent. Reproductive technologies are a result of development in biotechnology. It marked a shift from nature to choice by opening up possibilities of parenthood to those otherwise hampered by biology. Now, it is really interesting if we focus on these processes, that how the things which were very natural earlier were considered very casual. Now, it has a point of discussion, not only in the medical sciences, but also in the social sciences. This is the reason that when the development of a process takes place in the medical field, it marks an impression on the social field. This is the reason that we are having different names in the family, in the kinship scenario, because reimagining family is there. When there is reimagining of families, then definitely it marks an impression on the culture relatedness concepts of kinship and marriage. This is the reason that whether medical science working takes place in the closed lab, the birth of a womb of a child in the IVF process takes place in the laboratory, in the test tube, but still the child, when gets imbibed in the womb of a lady and the birth of a child takes place, certain new clusters of kinship development takes place in the society, and this is the reason that NRT is closely associated to the process of kinship. It marked a shift from a nature to choice by opening up possibilities of parenthood to those otherwise hampered by biology, means those couples which were not able to get their baby natural process or naturally. By this process they are able to complete their family. For example, infertility, same sex couples or single divorcee, widowers, that is those without a sexual partner. The development of NRT paved ways for the formation of family and increased the possibility to reproduce beyond biology. It has led to a cultural understanding of family and kinship. Therefore, NRT development is very essential to observe in the society. The reproductive technologies are a great help to infertile couples and given them the opportunity to be blessed with biomedical parenthood. Assisted reproductive technologies include fertilization involving manipulation of embryos outside the human body and transfer those embryos into the body, and most common ARTs are artificial insemination, in vitro fertilization, which we popularly known as the process of IVF, and various centers are commonly visible in each and every corner of our country. And the very popular concept which is gaining momentum nowadays is surrogate motherhood. It is very important to keep in mind while discussing and dealing and knowing about these phenomena that these all have their ethical and legal issues. Therefore, it is not only just a medical process, it is having its social significance, and because of that it is having its ethical and legal formations. And while going through these processes, it is very essential for every couple or any person to know, to have knowledge, at least basic knowledge about these processes and the legal avenues. Briefly, I will talk about IVF and surrogacy. That IVF was a treatment of women with blocked, damaged or absent fallopian tubes, which is a natural reproductive portion or biological phenomena in the woman. But today it is used to treat infertility. Indications for IVF have those female whose fallopian tubes are blocked. The wife is able to produce eggs, but her husband having less sperm count. The woman can produce eggs and woman unable to carry fetus till term. These are the various reasons where a person go for this process of IVF. Another technology which is commonly visible in the society is of surrogacy, that is surrogate motherhood. Number of movies, a couple of movies are also there in Bollywood who focused on this theme, but still it is having its ethical and legal dimension. Therefore, it is very important to know in deep when a couple go through this process that the word surrogate is derived from the Latin word subrogare, which means appointed to act in the place of. So, those women who are not able to deliver their own baby and those women who deliver baby for other couples where husband's sperm is inseminated and she carried fetus. In this case, wife is not able to produce egg or produce eggs, but unable to carry fetus till birth. So, those couples go for this, can be said to go for this process of surrogacy. This is called surrogate motherhood. In this case, embryo is formed by IVF and is implanted in the womb of a surrogate woman. She carries it till term and deliver the baby. Surrogate mothers rent her womb and get money from the couple or family. But for going this process, again ethical and legal dimensions are there. So, those because it is a very common understanding that if a female go through a process of 9 months and carry child in her womb, whether she has done this for a reason, for any of the reason, for the sake of money or for any other reason, but there is emotional bonding between a lady who carry that female that carry that womb or embryo, then definitely when that give birth to a child, any sort of legal complications will not take place. So, it is very essential to go through the actual process of surrogacy. NRT has not only expanded the scope of kinship studies, but has contributed significantly to improve the status of women. These technologies have given more reproductive choices to women and has allowed them to come out of the traditional ideas of biology. NRT has also generated questions of identity of children born through them. It has brought to question not only whose the child's father is, but also whose the child mother is. Now, this is very again a great question in the society, because earlier paternity was in that arena of question, that who is the father, because mother was very clear. But nowadays, because of the introduction of these techniques, because of the increasing use of these technologies, the role of mother is again in a questionable ground, that who is the mother? The mother who gives birth, or the mother who gives embryo for the formation of a child. If the egg belongs to one mother and womb to the other, then the question arises as to who is the genetics and who is the real mother of the child. The option of NRT is especially useful in the context of patriarchy, which defines women primarily in terms of her reproductive capacity, which emphasis on a genetic and blood link with the child. It is very commonly we can commonly see in our family lives that when a child takes birth, it's a common saying in the family that baby looks like a mother, talks like father, behave like uncle, and means in every activity of a child, in a common scenario, we feel the impression of the family members in that child's activity. But the question arises that if the womb is different and egg is different, and a lady who gives birth is different, then actually who is the mother and what is the kinship scenario which is working over here. So, reproduction is seen as a natural process over which men exert control through technological intervention. They have been blamed for promoting patriarchy and equating motherhood with womanhood, and thus enforcing linear progression from marriage to childbirth by playing on the stigma of childlessness. Means this is again a major stigma in the society which motivate people to go for the use of these NRT technologies. Women desperate to become mothers are given a chance to become complete by using reproductive technological methods. There are mixed opinions about the appropriateness of using such technologies. Definitely those couples who are desperate to have their own child, so they prefer, if they are not able to get their child biologically, they are in the opinion to the use of these technologies. Although it is important to note that these technologies no doubt give much assurance, but still their success rate is again a question. But that is a secondary issue. When a couple is having that tendency or the desperateness to get their child, they prefer or opt these technologies if they are not able to conceive or get their child naturally. Similarly, the raising or the changing concepts of the families, when there is the single parenthood concept is there, because those people who are not interested to get married because of the one or the other reason, but they want their child, they also opt such technologies. The same sex couples also for the procreation go for the use of these technologies. So, there are a lot of reasons which are considered important because of the use of these technologies. While some agree that technology is helpful to those who are facing problems in childbearing, others feel that reproductive technologies result in defamiliarizing of the natural basis of human procreation and reproduction, and are evidence of oversights of social norms surrounding cultural and religious beliefs, as seen in the case of Israel's in dilemmas facing rabbis and the face of NRT. Actually, the case study of Israel is very popular because the highest number of IVF centers are there, but they are having this limitation of religion that the couple of particular religion have their eggs and embryos transplant in that couple only, and this is the reason that this raises a great question in the society, that the child belongs to whom, and this is the question which raises that whether the system of IVF or that NRT is for the betterment of the society or the not for the goodness of the society. It is NRT which allows for the formation of families by choice. Reproductive technologies have allowed formation of families by choice, because same sex couples, single parenthood and so on can use this technology and move ahead. The family of choice is an illustration of the fact that biology is not the only defining feature of kinship. People can be kin with sharing blood and marital relations. Family is no longer seen only as a unit for reproduction. Rather, it can be a non-procreative unit. Such family ties on the basis of ideology of choice and love and stand in opposition to biological model of kinship. And NRT changed the notion of motherhood in Israel by designation as the separate genetic and gestation mother, means that mother which carries eggs and that lady which carry that womb on the basis, embryo formed on the basis of that egg that implanted in other lady's womb and face the gestation period. So, there is a difference between both ladies, and this is the reason that NRT changed this notion of motherhood, whether who is actual mother, one who provide the egg to be fertilized and the other whose womb is used for gestation. In Israel, maternity remains within the purview of religious laws, because it not only defines belonging in terms of kinship, but also one's membership within the religious group and rights to citizenship. Therefore, two challenges faced by fertility clinics are there in Israel particularly. First, motherhood bound by religious condition, and second is outdated religious codes and differences in the opinion of rabbis which were used by them in their religious custodians. The two relevances of NRT for society are: first, it rejects technology as patriarchal, and second, it gives freedom and agency to women. Means it rejects technology as patriarchal means that this is not only the responsibility of a male member, but other stigmas are also working, and other natural and biological phenomena are also working which are responsible for a couple to get their child. So, that rejection to them and opportunity is given to technology that they can be able to give birth to their own child. And second, it gives freedom to women also, that if they are not interested to get their child in a natural way, so they can use this technology and get their eggs reserved, and which they can use when they are interested to get their child at their proper age or at their proper social conditions. So, there is the positive impact of NRT. At the same time, I would like to talk about the negative impact of NRT on family and kinship also, that this technology is considered to promote capitalism by treating human bodies as commodities for sale worthy economic capital and restoring to medical tourism. It results in an unethical but thriving fertility industry, and this is the industry which is getting momentum great nowadays, where human reproductive parts like eggs, sperms, embryo can be bought, sold or hired, and this is the reason that this is now getting and developing as an industry. There is a donor and there are receivers. Therefore, NRT has received a mixed response because of problems bordering on their lack of affordability, accessibility in different countries and low success rates. And this is the reason that those couples who are interested to go for this process but still are not able to get their demanded success. In addition to this, the child takes birth because of these use of these technologies can be seen to have certain disorders at the time of birth, but these are again things which become secondary when the couple is desperate because of social stigmas to get the child of their own. Therefore, in this video we try to talk about and discuss about the process of NRT and its implication in the process of kinship and family in the society. Thank you.